In this video, we will cover a general overview of the L1 and L3 feedback within Adobe Captivate Prime. The L1 feedback is the learner feedback based upon their perspective of how the course was presented, was it applicable, did they learn something from it. This is a rating scale from 0 to 5. The L3 feedback is the feedback from the manager based on their observation of the employee after completing the training. This is typically done a few weeks to even a few months after the learner has completed the training. Gives the manager enough time to make their observations and provide some sort of documentation. Just a quick note, the L2 is the result of the quiz score and how well the learner performed. Later on in another video, we'll talk more about course effectiveness, but all three, the L1, L2, and L3 feedback, you will see actually applies to the effectiveness score for each of the courses. And we'll cover that in a future module. So for now, let's get a chance to go back and look at the core settings for L1 and L3 feedback. In order to do that, we'll make sure that we are logged in as an administrator. And these are settings that are found in the administrators panel under Configure within the settings subcategory. And in here, we'll find on the left-hand side feedback. Now this feedback is the general feedback settings for the overall course. These are questions that are standard questions that would occur in every instance of a course. And that also includes classroom training as well as self-paced training. These can be turned on and off. As you see here, if I select Edit, I can decide that maybe I don't want all of these questions. Maybe I just want 3. I can also modify these and make any sort of changes to the questions as I see fit as the administrator. This also can be done for the questions for the classroom course. And any sort of feedback reminders can be adjusted as well. By default, reminders for the L1 feedback are sent out immediately after the course completion. And then there's a reoccurrence every week for 4 weeks until the learner has completed their evaluation. Let's take a look at how this is applied to each course. And in order to do that, we'll go ahead and hit save. So let's take a look at the settings of the feedback for a specific course. And in order to do that, we'll go ahead and go back to courses and let's select one of the courses. We'll choose this test course here. Within every course, you will have instances of that course. And instances is a topic that will be covered on another module. But within these instances, each course has feedback that can be enabled. It also can be provided in different languages. And in here, the L1 feedback, we'll go ahead and enable that. If we wanted to add additional questions specifically for this course, we can add those here. We can also make a selection to show the questionnaire immediately after the learner has completed it, rather than having an email sent to them and then they can respond to that. So this means that it'll pop up immediately after the course has been completed. We can also enable here the L3 feedback and provide any additional questions that we may want to ask the manager related to the performance of the employee after completing the course. So let's go ahead and save that. You'll see here this feedback is enabled for both L1 and L3 feedback. Now we'll go ahead and I'll sign up for this course as a learner. I'll find that course in the course catalog. I'll view and enroll in the course, and I'll start that course. Okay, and the course is now complete. I'll close out of that course, and you'll see immediately the L1 feedback pops up because we had made the selection to immediately ask the learner to provide feedback. And in this particular case here, we may provide some feedback as a learner, and once we're done, the feedback has then been submitted. As an administrator, we can review the feedback of the learners. And in order to do that, we'll have to go back and log in as an administrator. We'll go to that specific course. And we'll run a report on the L1 feedback for that specific course. Now just remember, to complete the settings, we go to the instance of that course and make the adjustments to the settings. However, if we want to see the results of that feedback, we'll find that under the report section of the course. And you see here is the feedback, and if I would like, I can certainly export that feedback out into a CSV file. So this concludes the L1 and L3 feedback for Captivate Prime.